Today I have Tony Neal with me, a two-time non-boater ABT bass event champion. He won Richmond and St Clair. And Tony's going to talk to us today about, he just got back from the US and had a little go at the US Open over there. So welcome, Tony.
Thanks, Rob.
You've never fished for bass in the US before, and you just had a nice holiday over there, and in that you included a little trip to the US Bass Open. Can you tell us how that came about?
Yeah, the wife and I decided about 2 years ago, just prior to my kids leaving high school, we're going to get a family holiday together. So we decided to do 5 weeks over in America. And leading up to it, I was talking to a few guys over here, and one of the guys, my mate Anthony Thorpe, he said, "Why don't you go and fish the US Open?" So after a few laughs, I thought, why not? Why not give it a go? So I got in contact with Steve Morgan. Steve Morgan then put me in contact with a guy over in America called Kevin Wiggins. He's a past US Open winner. And from there was history. Yeah, they organised my connections, transfers from airports, transfers from the casino to Lake Mead. Also supplied me a lot of rods and tackle as well. So this plan that should have been hard ended up being real easy.
So tell us a little bit about the US Bass Open. How much does it cost to enter it? They call you co-anglers over there rather than non-boaters, but how much does it cost to enter as a co-angler?
Well, over in the One Bass US Open, or the One Bass Series, we're called Triple A's, which I've got no idea what that stands for. I'm assuming something to do with Amateur Angler Association or something. But you're right, co-anglers. It cost me to enter $600 US, so that equated to about $750 Australian. And how it all goes on, you have a 5-day pre-fish, which I couldn't make unfortunately due to work commitments. Then you have a lay day. The day before the comps, they call it a sponsored showcase. All anglers are required to attend because you've got to register for your briefing, show them your licence, give them a rundown on what boat you're using, what tackle you're using, what clothes you're wearing, all for the sponsors, so they can get a good feel of what the anglers out there in the real world are using. So at the sponsor showcase, obviously they're there at their tables and chairs set up, and they've got all their gear that they want us to use. So you grab hold of them, you play with the rods, the reels, you get bags and bags and bags, loads of lures, soft plastics, line, sunscreen, lip balm, hats, t-shirts, you know what you get. I had to actually go and buy another backpack to bring my fishing gear home with me. It was that much freebies given to us. Now that went for about 4 hours. Then they have about a 3-hour wait while they clear the hall. This hall holds probably about 500 people. At the briefing, it was pretty well full, standing room only, and Billy Egan, the director, he gets up on stage and he just draws out, first of all, a bit like over here with Steve Morgan and the lights and James, they go through the rules, regulations, the negotiations, what they expect of us, and then, yeah, they start the pairing, and as a new person over there, it was quite daunting to think, well, I've got to remember their names, I've got to remember what number I've got to remember where to go to, what casino to meet the boater at, but yeah, it all worked quite well. Everyone over there so friendly and was willing to help us all out. So I think I was drawn out at 197 for memory on day one. So it was a long way what they're drawing the names out. But yeah, it all went like clockwork. And as I said, everyone was so friendly over there. It was a really good atmosphere to be involved in.
Yeah, and I believe they capped it at 224 boats. Is that right?
224, which is a One Bass US Open record. Each year they're trying to add about 10% extra. So last year I think that was 205. Next year they're going to go for 250. So they want it to be the biggest and best comp in the world. So it's certainly going that way. And so next year they want 250 boats, and the way Basscat and Yamaha and Mercury and everything was all involved, they'll certainly get 250 if not more next year. Absolutely.
Yep, that's awesome. And they're all obviously bass boats on the starting line as well.
They certainly are. The smallest bass boat I've seen out there was 19 foot, and the smallest horsepower you're allowed to have is 150 horsepower, and the maximum is capped at 300.
Wow.
Most most of these boats over there were Scooter and Rangers. I did see a few Nitros, one or two Champions, but other than that, there was all 22-foot boats, I-class scooters and the likes. It was big, and like typical American, bigger is better. All had the 16-inch sounders, all had twin power pearls, all had, sounders on their console. Just massive amount of gear, and all carrying 20, 30 rods each. It was just big is better for sure over there, and it was just an icing to see it all, especially seeing 224 boats corralled into one bay, and Billy Egan calling out boat number one go, just to watch them all take off. And as I said, we were in the high 190s. To see them all take off was just phenomenal. These big, powerful boats, and all well tuned and all well serviced. They're very well looked after for sure and certain.
That's awesome. And it's a 3-day event?
Yeah, it was a 3-day event, but unlucky for me, but I suppose I ended up being lucky. The first day was cancelled. It was due to high winds. They had sort of between 30 and 50 mile-an-hour winds all morning. We went down to the launch site at Lake Mead, and the waves were crashing over the starting jetty. I mean, I'm talking like coming in by 1.5 foot, 2 foot. It was just stupid to be out there. And I was talking to Billy Egan, and I said, "Mate, what are you doing?" He goes, "No, mate, we're going back home to the casino. This is not on. It's too unsafe." So we packed up the boat again and went back to our casino where I was staying at Boulder Station. And I ended up going on a few tourist things that day and went into Las Vegas Strip, and I had a great time. So it was a blessing for me, to be honest. But yeah, if day one was cancelled, so everyone would go to my day two boater. You still stay with your day one boat back. So in essence, I lose the day three boater that I was paired with. So on day one, I had a guy called Guy Saville. He was from down Dallasville. He just liked to fish rocky edges and what have you. So we got really well there. It was just like fishing lakes. And we ended up with about £9.10 or something like that. It wasn't the best bag, but I was coming 47th on the first day. And I thought, I'm in earshot of money. I was pretty close to looting if you look at the results. I was only a couple of pound away from the leaders, and I was pretty confident. So we went back to the casino that night and re-rigged, and we got to bed pretty early, about 9 o'clock, because we've got to be on the water by about 3:30 every morning, which was a real pain. And they want you checked in, on the water and ready to go by 6 o'clock. So for 224 boats, you had to leave early. So as I said, we're on the water by 3:30, so it was an early night.
How many fish did you catch yourself on the first day?
On the first day, I probably only got about 5. To be honest, it was all new to me. I took out the bass sliders, and I was throwing them around, and old mate laughed at me. He said, "Maybe not use this on here. You want to find something a bit better." So I ended up using the Bassman spinner baits and also the football jigs, and just bounced them off the bottom. And they produced for me late on the first day rather. The second day, I was with a guy called Adam Hinkle. His brother makes Hinkle lures, so if you Google that, you see he makes these massive, like 250 mil topwater lures, just swim baits. They're just an awesome looking lure, and it produced all morning. And he was actually telling me, in part, he sponsors Carl Jochimson. He gives these lures to Carl to use, because they're just an awesome surface lure. But man, I would never think about using them over here. They're just way too big, but they had results, and really good results. So with Adam, on my second day, we fished out of a scooter. It had a 200 horsepower Yami on it, so we sort of done some running around. We came to a place that's called Vegas Wash. It's where the water comes out of the Hoover Dam. The big sort of flat area there is probably about 15 foot deep, and we're throwing these yum plastics, like a creature bait, like a chartreuse colour. I think the name of the lure we're using was a Vibra tube. It's just like for a better word, just like a green squid. We use them on a 5/8 jig head. Just slowly worked them off the boats, then hopped them off the bottom and let them sit like you do over here, and they were getting smashed. And on the glassed out about 8, 9 o'clock. We had our bag early. We had a double hook up, I think it was second or third cast, and Adam got 3 more quick ones to get our bag, and then I upgraded 2, he upgraded them, just fish up to fish up to fish, just going hammer and tong until about, it was probably about 9 o'clock I suppose, it glassed right out. And we had to start using drop shots, just really finesse fishing with worms. It just was so hard to fish. What he told me to do was look for the birds. Where you saw birds diving, very similar to us over here brim fishing for chasing tailor. You see the birds working, he said that'll be a fair bet, that'll be bass going off. So we're spotting the birds, we're going fishing, but unfortunately everywhere we went to find those fish was the big stripers were there. So you'd cast in and you hook a striper and they fought. I thought, yes, this is going to be a really good fish. You get to the boat and you go, well, that day I had to throw it back. But 1 o'clock onwards, it was just, unfortunately, it was just sort of one fish every 20 minutes. And it was hard to get motivated again, and it was stinking hot. It was probably about 37 degrees. I think it was about 95 Fahrenheit over there. It was dry. There was no wind. It was in the middle of the desert. And I thought, yeah, now I know I'm overseas. Now I know I'm fishing in a strange area. But right across, right, was a great experience, mate.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what type of bass were you catching?
We got the first day we got all smallmouth and 1 large. And the second day we had a mixed bag, was 3 large and 2 smallmouth. But I was, I suppose I'm one of those green anglers, and I thought, if you got the largemouth, you're going to win this comp. Well, that's not necessarily the case. There's largemouth there that are quite big, and probably bigger than the smallmouth. But on our bags, the smallmouth were the bigger of the fish. I found it very hard to tell the difference. There was a small pattern in the scales that seemed to be the big difference, and the small colour setup. But other than that, they're both, fair fighting fish. I described them as catching black brim down in Victoria. They hit hard, they drag for a while, then they give up. You get into the boat, they look at the boat, they say no thank you, and they dive down again and try and hide, and then you pick them back up, you hook them, you net them, and away you go. But it's certain, they don't fight like our brim at Glenbourne and Sinclair. You got to fight to the boat. They give up pretty easily. But to answer your question, mate, I actually thought the big mouth would be the way to go. The biggest big mouth that they were caught in this lake was about the 8-pound mark, and the biggest smallmouth was around the 7.5. That's the record in this lake, and that's what we're trying to beat. But unfortunately, the nearest we got was one Triple A got a 4-pound 9 or something, which was a cracking big fish. I'd love to see it around 8 pound, but this 4-pound fish, it would have done me any day of the week in the comp.
And what type of tackle were you using?
I took over my reels. I used the Daiwa Frames reels, 2,500. I took over 3 of them. Kevin Wiggins gave me 3 rods. From memory, I think they were Daiwa. I didn't really take much notice, but they're all about 7'2", 7'6" long, and very whippy. I used the 6-pound J-Braid and just 6-pound leader, which on day 2, when the bite started slowing down, we were throwing into pretty gnarly territory, and I was getting my leader breaking all the time. And Adam said to me, "Don't have any leader, just tie straight to the braid." He said the fish won't care, no one will care, just straight to the braid. And it didn't seem to matter. You certainly felt the bites really quickly, that's for sure and certain. But yeah, I've noticed that since I've been back, quite a few guys don't tie leader over there, so it was very interesting. But and the hooks and that I used were basically Bassman jig heads. I used all 5/8 all the time, didn't go any lighter than that. Bassman spinner baits was my lure, and the football jigs. And then as I said, the plastics that we're using were the Yum plastics. If you go onto the website, they've got a good range of creature baits and worms. And when I went to the Bass Pro Shop in Las Vegas, it was just wall-to-wall plastics. You're paying like $1.50 a packet. I think we're getting screwed over here for our prices. This really cheap over there. And the drop shot setups, again, you're talking probably 20 sinkers for $1. It was just amazing the price that we pay to what they get over there. And I can see why the Americans have so much stuff in their boat, because it's so cheap.
And at the end of the day, you had a really good result because you ended up in 26th place out of 224 co-anglers, and so you actually got in the money. So tell us about that and how that all worked.
That was quite interesting. I knew I was in the money, and I didn't know how much because I'd never got a phone reception over there until I left Vegas and met up with my family again. So I was sort of going off memory, and I thought I might win a few dollars here. So we're sitting down. We had to wait from 4 p.m. was the last weigh-in. We had to wait till 8:30 at night back at the casino. So we went back, showered and shaved, what have you, and got all dressed up, and everyone comes down, there's sponsored gear on and looking the part. We sat in this big auditorium, again, standing room only, and they started from 40, and they said, you've received a cheque for $500 or what have you, and I'm just going, wow, if they're $500, I must be close to $600, and once they got down to 30th spot, they also gave out these really good plaques. I'll try and post up a photo for you. And it says on it that I came 26. It's got a picture of a bass on it, US Open, what have you. And I ended up walking away with a cheque for $1,200. That equated to about just shy of 1,600 Australian dollars. So that's one more in America I have ever in Australia, which is quite ironic. Yeah, and I was only £4 off the leader, so I was only one good fish from winning. And the guy that won it, he got $10,000 US, and then about $40,000 in sponsor products. He got like mint coaters and rods and reels and clothing, and you name it. He would have needed a box trailer to get home. It's definitely worthwhile going into and giving it your all, 100%.
So I take it you'll be back at some point?
Yeah, I've already been speaking to Billy Egan over there. He's running the One Bass series already. I think it was last weekend they ran another one, and I emailed him to try and get some footage of the weigh-in and the briefings and what have you, just like an edited version so I could show my family. And he's invited me back already next year. So I've been talking to a few of my mates, and Raffy up there from Blazing Bear Marine, he's super keen to come over, so we're looking at doing again this year, 2019, or again it'll be October. So I'm going to have a chat to Steve Morgan throughout next year when it quiets down a bit, and just see if we can get a team of guys and girls that want to go over and do it. A good friend of mine owns a travel agency, and she says she'll look after us. We got return airfares to America for $800. That was from Sydney to Las Vegas, and I paid, I think it was 120 Australian dollars for 5 nights accommodation at the casino, plus the entry fee, which was say $700 Australian. So for $2,000, I've had a week in Las Vegas, fished one of the best comps in America, and come back home again with money. So I'm out of pocket probably $200.
Yep, that's not too bad.
I just think if I can get a team of guys and girls to come over, we could almost start an Aussie assault on this and do it, and us versus them. And I know they'll welcome us with open arms. Kevin Willigans and Adam Hinkle have said that they can arrange boats for us if need be. It's such a good core family of people to do this comp. So to answer your question, Rob, yes, mate, super keen, and I've been given the green light from the wife that I will be doing it in 2019, and I'll make it an annual event now. So if anybody wants to come, send me a PM, and I can give you some details, and we'll get the ball going.
That's awesome. Sounds very cool.
I'm sure you're coming, Rob. I heard a rumour you're flying to Vegas next week or next fortnight to check it all out. Is that true? This
is true, and I have your mate Kevin is taking me for a little fish, I'm hoping, so that is awesome too, and yeah, I'm hoping that I'll might be joining you at some point down the track in one of those comps.
Yeah, 2019 is the year, mate. We'll do it.
Cool. All right, thanks for your time, Tony. And
anytime, my good friend. It's been great to chat with you. I'll talk to you real soon.